Hi, I'm Billy Mavreas in Montreal, in my shop, Monastiraki. It means the small monastery, le petit monastère in Greek. It's a project that started in 1998 and I'm winding it down this year, 2020, maybe 2021. I'm an artist, I make zines, I'm a collector. All those tendencies I write, all those tendencies kind of come together in book format most often. Collage, drawing, comics, visual poetry, like that. For me, a zine is something quick and easy. For a long time, the format that I was using is a double-sided 8.5 by 11, copied on both sides, folded once, folded twice, stapled and trimmed. So one sheet will yield 8 pages. And I do these things very quickly, and I photocopy them, and I make 10 to 50 to 100, very, very max, 100 copies of them. A lot of them recently have been 10 to 20 copies each because I don't care. And I just make them and I'll make another one. And they're centered around a project. Like this is a project of ruler drawings and some text from a stencil of alphabet. And I just, I make a little bit of it and then I move on to the next one. And that's what happens. Now, I've been also lucky to have things like this published. This one is from Above Ground Press in Ottawa. I think Rob makes maybe 200 to 500 copies of something like that. And this is visual poetry. In this case, collaged text. A lot of them are visual too. I grab it, I move between little bunnies and abstractions and scrawls and that kind of thing. Very gestural stuff. What it does for me is that it takes an idea that, like the way that I'll draw or write or collage is that I have a burst of something, and I usually work on 8.5 by 11s, and I'll make 4 to 12 of a series of something. And slapping them between 2 covers is the best way to have it dealt with. It's done, it's finished, I've copied it, I could share it now. I don't have to be precious about the originals and trying to get some sort of top dollar for an original drawing or collage. I can make a zine, I could sell it for $5 or $3 or trade it or give it. And it kind of, it stops that. It kind of, yes, exactly that. The chapter is done, and then the next chapter is begun. Textures and paper that resonates with, that's already been printed. I love that stuff. And one of the things that happened here in this shop was that my art practice and my collecting practice merged and mixed up. And now there's things that I can't get rid of because I think I'm going to use them somehow in some way. Whether I take pieces of found paper and I fold them into a zine format, but I sell it as a notebook. Just today I was going through all these little bank books and I'm like, well, I could draw on these and make these little art books out of them. It's a problem. It's a problem because everything merges and it's hard to distinguish what I'm keeping for what reason. One good thing has been to let things go and let other people also have a go at the magazines and the stationery and the postcards or the found photos or whatever it is. But it all does mix together. And it mixes together nicely. I mean, paper is paper, and a collage zine could easily sustain, or a zine could easily sustain a found drawing, a found photo, and a poem that one has written, and all together. I think my shop Monastiraki in Montreal has been a place that welcomed young creators and gave them an outlet for some of their work, posters or zines. I've always wanted something to replicate in other people what happened to me when I was 15 years old and I would walk into these crazy hippie shops on Saint Denis or something in 1983, or and I wanted also to have a place that freak kids could come in and buy something for $1, and also see something that maybe they wouldn't have seen elsewhere, and to provide an infrastructure that also didn't exist when I was even 20. If you wanted a zine, you had to go to a record store or a comic book store, and this kind of thing, where I think now an entire place could sell lots of them. They're kind of everywhere now to a certain degree, and I think that I've helped formalize that practice of having a place that you can go get zines and share them, and have a young artist make a little bit of coin. And the first thing that I did when in 2000, when I took this place over from my father, it was a very, very full antique shop. The very first thing I did is invite colleagues from the Montreal comics community to give me some art for the walls. And then that kind of spread in word of mouth, and other artists and people would come by, and cartoonists from North America, if they were in Montreal, they'd drop by. And that was very, very good for the soul, I think. I am very grateful for that, having a place that I could be found, because visiting dignitaries from around the world in the culture would drop by, and we would chat, and I would show them cool things, and they would show me cool things, and we would trade. And I'm happy I think that's part of the legacy of this place.
The plays in the window display. There was a Halloween play.
There's been projections in the window. There's been installations in the window, and of course, me and friends would have a drink and draw. And that was, and we had collage nights for Nuit Blanche, and the most consistent event that happened here was a very private event between myself, Joe Ullman, and Todd Stewart, and we did something called Man Drawing Salon, where we did collaborative monster head drawings. And we have 100 of those things, also waiting for a publisher to bother with. So I hope that this place has resonated a lot. I mean, we've gotten a lot of creative people in this place, and being creative in situ, and that's been wonderful. So it's not just a retail place. I've always wanted it to be a living cultural artifact.
Has anybody ever bought a few old magazines and come back with a zine of collages that they made to sell in the shop with the same old magazine?
No, they've said they would.
They said they would. Okay.
I'm still here, and what I've been telling people is that social media will alert people to my activities, and I hope to do something like this off the main boulevard, in a place that might be a little cozier, a little warmer. Maybe you're gonna have to take off your shoes to come in. Maybe I'll be able to serve you a drink because we're at home.